On the day of joy, the groom descended from the sky. The guests were all stunned by his entrance, but when they came to their senses, they saw he was wrapped tightly in plastic film, hanging in mid-air. The moment they saw the words Qingshan written across the film, their faces changed completely, because a month ago at a campsite named Qingshan, they had killed a woman, and the groom hanging above them was one of the killers. The guests panicked and fled in chaos. Only I stood there in a black suit, calmly raising my glass. No one knew that I was the true orchestrator, because I was the lover of the murdered woman. 5 years ago at Qingshan, I was planning to propose to her, but when I arrived at the tent, she was gone. I searched every inch of that mountain until I met a group of people with strange looks in the hotel corridor. At first, I thought they were tourists, but when I pushed the door open, I saw her cold, lifeless body. In that instant, I understood. Those people I passed by were her killers. Hatred burned in my heart, dragging me into the abyss. Because of her death, I developed schizophrenia in my hallucinations. She was still alive, speaking to me every day. That was why I was locked in a psychiatric hospital for revenge. I forced myself to recover. 5 years later, I was released, and with a faint smile, I vowed to make each of them pay with their lives. The first body was hung at the wedding, marking the beginning of their nightmare. Unfortunately, the groom was sent to the hospital, but they did not know that the attending surgeon was me. That cunning woman demanded I wake the patient to find out who was behind it all. I calmly said the patient's condition was critical, that waking him could be fatal, but she did not care. She only wanted the answer. She never realized she had stepped right into my trap, and I had nothing left to hesitate about. Back in the operating room, I injected a special agent into the patient's veins. The next second, the groom opened his eyes. The cunning woman rushed forward, demanding to know who did it. He said the killer was a man. Before he could finish his sentence, his gaze froze on my face. The woman immediately sensed something was wrong, but before she could ask, again, the groom coughed up blood and passed out on the spot. She shouted for me to save him again, but I refused. I told her if we woke him once more, he would die instantly. She kept pushing to know the truth, but I stayed unmoved, so the groom barely survived. Later, my lover appeared beside me and gently asked why I did not kill them right away. I just smiled and said the game had only begun. They would all die slowly in fear. But to others, it looked like I was whispering to empty air. My condition was worsening again. Meanwhile, the cunning woman failed to find the killer and was beaten by the mastermind from that year. When they tried to check the surveillance footage, they found all recordings deleted. The mastermind raged and went to punish her again. At that moment, I appeared and grabbed his wrist when he looked up and saw my face. Recognition and terror filled his eyes.